In the preceding section, we explored how a deed in lieu of foreclosure can serve as a cooperative alternative to foreclosure. However, when multiple liens exist against a property, such voluntary arrangements become far more complex. Understanding how lien priority affects foreclosure rights, redemption opportunities, and the responsibilities of each lien holder, known as a beneficiary in a deed of trust, is essential for anyone navigating Arizona's real estate and lending system. A lien represents a creditor's legal claim to a property as security for payment of a debt. In many transactions, a single property may be encumbered by several liens, such as a first mortgage, a home equity line of credit, HELOC, tax liens, judgment liens, or mechanics liens. Under Arizona revised statutes, Paragraph 33,705 and Paragraph 33,813, these encumbrances are prioritized according to the principle of first in time, first in right. The lien that is recorded first in the county recorder's office generally has the highest priority and is paid first from the proceeds of any foreclosure sale. To illustrate, consider a homeowner in Scottsdale who has two loans secured by deeds of trust: a first mortgage for $400,000 and a second mortgage, HELOC, for $75,000. If the borrower defaults and the first lender forecloses through a trustee's sale, the second line holder's interest is extinguished because it is subordinate. However, if the second line holder forecloses first, the buyer at that sale would take ownership subject to the first lender's superior lien. In either case, lien priority determines who ultimately receives payment and who bears the loss when sale proceeds fall short. The implications of multiple liens become even more pronounced when considering deficiency judgments and redemption rights. Under Arizona's Anti-Deficiency Statute, ARS P. 33843G, a borrower is protected from personal liability after a trustee's sale of a qualifying residential property, 2.5 acres or less, used for 1 or 2 family dwellings. However, subordinate line holders, such as junior mortgages or judgment creditors, may lose their secured interests entirely. These junior lien holders are considered sold out, meaning their liens are wiped out by the foreclosure of the senior lien. Their only recourse is to pursue the borrower personally through civil court if the debt is not otherwise protected by anti-deficiency laws. This hierarchy also influences how foreclosure alternatives, such as deeds in lieu, are handled. A lender holding a first position lien will generally refuse to accept a deed in lieu if subordinate liens remain attached to the title. Accepting such a deed would transfer the property and all junior liens to the lender, making them responsible for those debts. Therefore, before accepting a deed in lieu, the lender must confirm that title is clear of subordinate encumbrances. This requirement underscores why borrowers with multiple liens often find foreclosure unavoidable unless all line holders agree to subordinate or release their claims. Each beneficiary in a deed of trust, whether first, second, or third position, has specific responsibilities in default situations. The senior lien holder has the right to foreclose and must do so in strict compliance with ARS. Paragraph 33,801 through Paragraph 33,821, which govern notice, publication, and timing of a trustee's sale. Subordinate lien holders have the right to receive notice of the foreclosure and to cure the default by paying off the senior lien to protect their interest. This act of paying off the senior lien holder's debt is known as redeeming or reinstating to preserve junior lien priority. For example, if a homeowner in Chandler defaults on their first mortgage, the HELOC lender, as a second position lien holder, may choose to reinstate the first loan to prevent foreclosure and protect its investment. If the HELOC lender fails to act, the trustee's sale under the first lien would eliminate the second lien, leaving the junior lender unsecured. Multiple liens also affect distribution of foreclosure proceeds. After the trustee's sale, proceeds are applied in the following order. Trustees and foreclosure cost payment of the senior beneficiary's debt, payment of junior lien holders in order of priority, any remaining balance to the borrower. This order ensures fairness and transparency in distributing the limited funds from a foreclosure sale. If sale proceeds are insufficient to cover subordinate debts, those line holders may be left with nothing, which often influences their decision to either release or negotiate their liens prior to the sale. In Arizona, disputes between lien holders regarding priority or payment are sometimes resolved through interpleader actions or quiet title lawsuits. The case of Maine I. Lequetanid Partnership Venture Capital Construction, 1987, established that trustees' sales are final, and challenges to lien priority must be raised before the sale occurs. Therefore, understanding the hierarchy and responsibilities among lien holders is crucial for all parties, including licensees who represent buyers, sellers, or investors dealing with distressed properties. For real estate professionals, the presence of multiple liens is a significant red flag requiring careful disclosure and due diligence. Under Commissioner's Rule R428-1101H and I, licensees must act competently within their area of expertise and recommend legal or escrow review when encumbrances complicate a transaction. Agents should encourage clients to obtain a preliminary title report early in the process, which identifies all existing liens and their respective recording dates. Discussion. Why does lien priority matter in foreclosure proceedings? Answer. Because it determines which creditors are paid first from the proceeds of a foreclosure sale and whose liens may be extinguished. What happens to subordinate liens when a senior lien holder completes a trustee's sale? Answer. They are extinguished unless the junior lien holder cures the default or redeems the property before the sale. Why would a lender refuse to accept a deed in lieu of foreclosure on a property with multiple liens? Answer. Because accepting the deed could make the lender responsible for paying off subordinate liens that remain attached to the title. Review summary. When multiple liens exist on a property, their order of recording determines the rights and outcomes in a foreclosure. Senior line holders have first claim to proceeds, while junior lines may be wiped out unless the line holder takes action to cure the default. Beneficiaries have specific obligations. Senior lenders must foreclose according to statutory procedures, and junior lien holders must act to protect their interests. Multiple liens can complicate deeds in lieu and foreclosure alternatives since subordinate claims must be cleared before ownership transfers. For licensees, understanding lien priority and communicating its implications is essential for advising clients ethically and accurately while remaining within the scope of professional competence.